Hey, what's up guys? My name's Max and
I like sound.
Being in quarantine has given me way more time to listen to music and think about what I'm hearing. So basically a mixture of boredom and boredom is why I'm starting this channel to talk about music. And if you're a music head like me, you've been in this situation. You're just jamming to a song, and all of a sudden this one part comes on and you're like, ugh! That is the stank face. It's made its way around the memosphere a few times, and it's a staple of all good reaction YouTubers. When the drummer hits an awesome fill, or the vocalist hits this super guttural, disgusting low. The whole when the band brings back a nasty riff but slower template is pretty popular within metal and hardcore communities. In fact, I'll show you one of my favorite examples of that from a band called Employed to Serve. Oh wait, is it over now? It's the moment mosh pits turn into war zones. Women and children are trampled under feet by mindless berserkers bearing the mark of the stank. A primal visage of horror and satisfaction. I've actually also had this experience with hip hop, jazz, funk, rock. It's a universal stamp of approval where a community as a whole looks at something and says, yes, this is good. More of that, please. So for this video, I thought it would be fun to explore the stank face as a feeling that transcends genre and culture. So I went ahead and posted this picture in the Facebook group Patrician Music Chart Posting in an attempt to get a good pool of responses to explore. This Facebook group has a pretty diverse array of music fans in it, so 80 responses later, I had a sizable portion of music to delve into. So without further ado, let's take a look. Let's start with the people who do not understand. They do not walk the path of the stank. This person apparently saw my post and thought I meant bad music. And I can honestly understand why you would look at a face like this and assume negative connotations. This kid looks like he just smelled his baby brother's soiled diaper. Hardcore Keem looks like he's staring into the abyss. Garrett Miller looks like he just stubbed his toe. So is the stank face a visage of discomfort? Yeah, but it's complicated. Let me unpack this with a song somebody posted by the beatdown hardcore band Desolated. Beatdown is really the musical equivalent of this emoji. It's all about being as mean and aggressive as humanly possible, often to the point of being hilarious. But there are some people whose brains are wired to take that verbal abuse to heart. Why else would you have shows like this? Yeah, the stank face in this genre is honestly triggered by the ridiculous amount of machismo, and to be honest, it's pretty addictive. But for most other metal genres, the stank really comes in short, sweet doses, otherwise known as the breakdown or the mosh part. I got some great examples in the brutal death metal, deathcore, and slam categories. The key ingredient here is contrasting tempos, from blindingly fast to hideously slow. If it's done right, the only response you can have is just, what? You get a bit of a different situation with the chaotic hardcore bands like End or Converge if you want something a bit more classic. The way this stuff just stabs into your eardrums might trigger some kind of fight or flight response, like you're a wounded animal trying to get away from a predator. The stank face is almost like a defense mechanism in that case, like you're being assaulted by the music and you're trying to put up with it by just going, oh wow, okay, back up a little bit. It's more of a compulsive flinch. And speaking of okay, back up a little bit, I got a few responses in the sludge metal category. Take a band like Conan, for instance. They really operate at 1 decibel level, which is soul crushing. band like Grief slows things down even more and doubles down on the whole nihilistic, misanthropic wave of pitch dark decadence. In both cases, the stank is more of an aroma as opposed to one specific moment that makes you go, ugh! It kind of just sits in the pit of your stomach, this creeping sense of despair, and it gets more potent as the songs go along their way. You can basically smell all the soiled diapers by the time it's over. The stank face really seems to correlate with slower tempos and grimy bass, but I got a few responses that tended more towards overwhelming speed, like the blackened grindcore of Anal Nathrak. It's so fast that it's hard to even really know what to do when you listen to it for the first time. You know, that might be enough for some people to turn it off right away, but some people embrace the extremity, such as the calling of the stank disciple. In this way, the stank face is a mark of recognition, proof that you found something truly special. But the music really doesn't need to be over the top for it to work. What do all these songs by Gojira and Bolt Thrower have in common? They all trigger the stank face at one point or another. It's that part where you're showing it to a friend and you're just waiting for that part to kick in, and then you get to watch in satisfaction as they look like they just pooped their pants. So we've established stank as an essential ingredient to all good heavy music. However, a lot of other genres made it into the comments section. How do those other styles crank the stank? We might as well start with rock. Metal is basically rock music on steroids, so you might think that there would be less stank to be found in a music that's inherently less extreme. Not the case, but it's a different flavor. I mean, it better be different if you're gonna find it in a Grateful Dead song. The commenter claims that the stank hits right when the bass cuts through the drum solo and the band starts to lock into a groove, and it definitely had that effect on me. It is so unbelievably satisfying to hear this freeform drum solo that lasts for like 10 minutes. And then boom, it hits. It doesn't even need to be super intense or angry. All you need is the glue to take that free-form noise and just go right there. And I don't even like psychedelic rock that much, but the stank is a tie that binds. All right, nice. The stank is way more noticeable with a band like Alice in Chains, which is probably why they got over with the metal crowd before any other grunge band did. For all you hardcore kids out there, being able to write some dunderheaded, mosh-worthy breakdown is nothing compared to knowing exactly what riff is going to pierce into your soul. The person who decided to comment this gem definitely knows what I'm talking about. But intensity definitely helps, considering all of the noise rock that made it into the comments. Lightning Bolt is legendary for its stank. You got that insane bass tone, the drummer's insatiable chops. It is the definition of stank. There's that willingness to use unpleasant textures to create a compelling vibe. And that's exactly what made the new Black Country New Road album so great. Oh my God, it's like Top Times laughing stock on meth. I guess in this way, you could call Swans the rock equivalent of what Grief is to metal. It's all really unpleasant on the surface, but the way that all of these unpleasant textures meld together is very compelling. It's kind of like a pit full of quicksand laced with LSD. It'll pull you under and alter your brain. I was glad to see a lot of math rock representation in the comments. It has the stank on lock because it's all so tightly executed, even though it is very complicated. It really achieves stank in the same way some jazz fusion or funk bands might. And speaking of which, I was actually kind of depressed that I didn't get a lot of jazz responses. I mean, come on, dude, listen to Dave Weckl's Heads Up and tell me it's just not permeating with stank. And last but not least, we are gonna have to contend with hip hop. And to me, There's 3 categories of stanky hip hop: great beats, great bars, or both. The former, to me, seems to translate more with newer artists like Denzel Curry or Kodak Black.
Hey, young boy had to penetrate.
The advent of sub-bass drops allowed these guys to hit way harder than they would have been able to back in the day. And it's definitely something you could see more people moshing to. Even if you want to take the most intense, hardcore acts from 90s hip-hop, they weren't exactly rapping to mosh. Except for Onyx. He definitely rapped for the pit.
Everybody wanna sound funny. How much when you have
But still, you definitely have a quality case of stank when you listen to a track like A Tribe Called Quest's Oh My God. You're vibing out to that classic jazz rap beat, and then in comes that suave, slick wordplay.
Everybody, the bottom line. I'm a black intellect, but I'm refined.
It has plenty of stank, but not a lot of violence. I was actually pretty surprised I didn't see more representation from more intense acts like Ghetto Boys or Grave Diggers.
Come on with the clan for the land that wonder.
Death Grips. But the fact they weren't there seems to imply that you can have without a lot of the obnoxious anger that often gets associated with it. It really can boil down to tactful, flawless execution. If I've learned anything from this, stank comes in a variety of aromas. It can overwhelm you with pure adrenaline, or it can ease you into a sonic jacuzzi. Whether you're a fan of jazz rap, psychedelic rock, or brutal slamming death metal, you can count on the Stank Face to behold the true cream of the crop. Your face might suggest you just smelled an apocalyptic fart, but your heart tells you to hit that rewind button and experience the stank again. And that, my friends, was my journey into the kingdom of Thanks to everybody who made it to the end of the video. A major shout out to the Patrician music chart posting community on Facebook. They gave me some awesome music to listen to, and I appreciate it. This is my very first attempt at the whole YouTube thing, so I appreciate everybody who gave me a try. And if you're interested in any of the music or channels that I referenced in this video, I'm gonna link them all in the description. I would love for you guys to listen to all of it and maybe tell me what you think down in the comments. I would also appreciate you guys liking this video if you enjoyed it, and maybe subscribing if you want to see more content. I do a lot of writing for websites like Metal Injection and Exclaim, and if you want to keep up with that, probably the best way to do it is to follow me on my social media platforms. And if you're a vinyl head, definitely follow me on Instagram because I do all kinds of vinyl posting over there. That's it for me. I'm gonna go ahead and spin the new Ruins of Bevrast album, also known as one of the coolest black metal albums I've heard all year. You should definitely check it out. Thank you for watching. Peace.